Hello and welcome everyone. My name is Chiranjit Mishra and today I'm going to discuss January 30 news today. There are 14 news items and as is customary, let's quickly go through the 5 main news and 9 quick updates. Let's briefly go through the titles. The first main news is about the poor assessment of risks as regards Himalayan Karakoram glaciers, as a result of which they can pose a lot of danger in the form of glacier lake outburst floods. The second important news is economic survey has been tabled, economic survey 2025-26, which is what happens right before the union budget is presented. The third main news is about expert panel updates regarding CPI or consumer price index framework. So we have changed our basket and we're going to revise our base year from 2012 to 2024, taking into consideration the changing requirements and needs. The fourth main news is coking coal named strategic mineral, strategic and critical mineral, because India imports a lot, but India has good amount of indigenous reserves, and giving this new status is definitely going to boost its production. The last main news is survey calls for entrepreneurial state. That means economic survey wants India to be an entrepreneurial state. And what is that? We'll discuss. Let's quickly go through the quick minor news, quick updates. The first minor news is global nuclear capacity may triple. That means we had set a target of enhancing nuclear energy capacity to produce nuclear energy, but we have already well surpassed that target. Next is living root bridges for UNESCO. India has submitted Meghalaya's living root bridges, which is going to get the tag of intangible cultural heritage. Now it is a fresh submission. Let's look forward to what's happening. Desert bacteria reach Himalayas. That means using dust particles as nuclei to cling to. Bacteria from faraway places, Middle East and Thar Desert, they're reaching the Himalayas and changing its ecosystem gradually. Next is bombogenesis or bomb cyclone, which normally happens when two different types of air masses interact. And as a result of which there is a lot of blizzard or snowstorm in New York and nearby areas. The next quick update is about new dark matter map released. Dark matter, one of the important components of the universe. We have created a new map as to using which we can see which are the areas where dark matter is highly concentrated and where dark matter is not that concentrated or diffused. Another space-related phenomenon, red aurora, which is witnessed in Hanle National Park in Ladakh. We'll see what led to the formation of red aurora. We have seen green lights, northern lights, which are normally blue or green in color. Purple and green in color. So what led to this red emission? Next, European Union has sanctioned after leveling the tag of terror group to Iran's Revolutionary Guard Corps, which is actively taking part in suppressing the domestic protests. Okay, so what are the consequences? We'll briefly go through. The second last quick update is about Paymana reviews major project. And Paymana is a portal which looks after or monitors the different projects, infra projects of the central government. The last news item is about NHRC, that is National Human Rights Commission, which has taken suo motu cognizance of a protest led by the Kalbelia tribal group of Rajasthan. Now let's quickly go through. We have already gone through. Now let's discuss the news items one by one. Okay, the first news item is related to GS paper 3 from the environment part, which is GLOF, that is glacial lake outburst floods. That means we all know what glaciers are. They are in a frozen state, and when they start to melt and the melting process in a way becomes perennial, that means in the winter season also the cold is not enough to freeze the material back, then the size of the molten material, that is water, increases, and sometimes it increases so fast that the natural barriers that support the lake because of the melting of the glaciers, they start to collapse, as a result of which the downstream areas are affected. That is what happened in 2013 in Kedarnath. Itne saath mein a lot of water goes down the hill or mountain. So what happens? The nearby villages are submerged. Okay, constructions collapse. So now this particular news is about a report which said that the third pole of the world, which is the Himalayan region, we have North Pole, the first pole, South Pole is your second pole, and the third pole is the Himalayan region, close to the northern Himalayas and Karakoram. So it contains a lot of glaciers. And now, because of global warming and climate change, the glaciers are melting. Sometimes the process is becoming irreversible. That means in the winter season also, whatever material is in the form of molten state is in the form of like molten ice or water, it's not freezing back again. So that's why numerous lakes are being formed and the levels are rising. So which possess a very strong risk, okay, or a potential threat. But the risk assessment has not been done properly. That is what the report says, okay. And because the risk assessment is not done properly, that's why we cannot build up a good plan for disaster management as regards preparedness, because preparedness is always based upon risk assessment. हमको पहले रिस्क पता होना चाहिए, accordingly we will prepare. But ये रिपोर्ट बोलता है कि उसके हिसाब से नहीं हुआ है. That is what the news is all about. But you can expect direct questions. You cannot expect a direct question from this theme. You can expect questions related to glaciers, types of glaciers, which UPSC has several times asked in the UPSC prelims. First, briefly go through the news item, then we'll discuss. Karakoram region हमको पता है, northern Himalayas, which passes through the Gilgit-Baltistan region, which is now under POK. वहीं पे ये आता है, ठीक है. POK में आता ही है. देखो, अगर this is your Kashmir part, ये वाला जो जाता है, this is your Karakoram. Sometimes it's very close to Tajikistan also, and part of Afghanistan also comes under it. And यहाँ पे आपका यहीं तक आता है, not this part, ये वाला part, okay. Over 19,000 glaciers are warming at 0.5 to 0.6 degrees Celsius per decade. That means in a matter of 100 years, if this is the decadal thermal capture rate, that means over a period of 100 years, the temperature will rise by easily 1.5 to 6 degrees Celsius, which is huge at this particular scale. And glacial lakes are expanding fastest in eastern Himalayas, followed by central and western regions. Now, eastern Himalayas कौन सा हो गया? Northeastern Himalayas हो गया, Assam, northeast areas, because these part majorly come in the subtropical region. That means the incident rays are more particular, okay, and also rainfall amount is very high. And if there is global warming, that means the climate of the globe is rising, and this region inherently receives a lot of rainfall. So what will happen? That means lot of material will be received in the form of precipitation जिसे बोलते हैं, ठीक है, which can be your rainfall or snowfall. If it's below 0 degrees Celsius, the rainfall will take the form of snowfall. But due to global warming, the temperature is rising. So whatever precipitation this region receives, the eastern Himalayas, ये वाला जो part है, ठीक है, इंडिया का मैप हो गया. If इंडिया का मैप हो गया ये वाला पार्ट, यहाँ पे because of rising temperature and maximum precipitation, many of the glaciers are not freezing back. That means the melting rate is very high. Already material बहुत ज़्यादा है और temperature बहुत ज़्यादा है. So what will result? Numerous glacial lakes. Okay, as compared to your this part, northern Himalayas और central Himalayas. ये वाला part जो है, ठीक है, अर्थ का इंडिया का मैप तो आपको पता ही है, ये वाला, ठीक है, ये वाला पार्ट. इट्स अ वेरी बैड डायग्राम बट वेरी इजी टू अंडरस्टैंड विच पार्ट आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट, ठीक है. Glacial lakes are expanding fastest in the eastern Himalayas, already covered. Under high emission scenarios, 65%, that means nearly 2/3 of the glaciers of the total Asia will disappear by 2100. That means it's a matter of only 75 years. अगर इसी रेट से चलता रहा तो 2/3, that means close to 65% will disappear forever. GLOFs are sudden floods caused by the breach of glacier-fed lakes. What happened in 2013 in Kedarnath, which was actually a combination of two factors. One was the glacial lakes, which are already very filled to the brim. Next, followed by cloud bursts. That means the holding capacity of the lakes is breached. Okay. Causes क्या होगा? Atmospheric warming, ice avalanches, these are like day-to-day phenomena. But atmospheric warming means global warming, which is a perennial phenomenon. And इसको हम हमेशा long-term effect के तौर पे देखते हैं. These are like day-to-day events: intense rainfall, just like cloudbursts, land movements, landslides, permafrost melt. Okay, again melting जिससे कारण होता है, so more discharge. Impact क्या होता है? Threaten hydropower projects, roads, bridges, and other. All the constructions can collapse. Okay, what happened? You must. Kedarnath was not an isolated event. Over a period of time, number of GLOFs we have seen in the news. So you must have seen the level or the scale of destruction. Events can have transboundary effects because many of the Himalayan rivers are actually transboundary rivers. Okay, we have glaciers in Tibet region, but the rivers flow through India, North India. Okay, the part of the Indo-Gangetic system. Events can have, yeah, that's it. Now let's see what questions were asked. In 2019, a question came, pair type, जिसमें पूछा था glaciers and rivers and their source glaciers. Okay, and you can see this question had sort of a repetition. आप अगर दे सकते हो, ठीक है? इसका आंसर होगा 1, 2, 4, I guess. Yes. The Siachen question, the question related to Siachen was repeated again in the next year. इसको देख लीजिए. You can pause the video and you can see the next year again. Siachen Glacier is situated to the north of Nubra Valley. ठीक है? Yeah. So that is why we always say, do go through the previous year questions. Okay? Anybody who would have gone through that year, they must have definitely marked it correctly. अभी और एक क्वेश्चन भी आया था 2021 में. It's about the water that is held by different sources. ठीक है? Ground water, atmospheric water like water vapor, rivers and lakes. इसका आंसर कौन सा है? You can just pause the video and check. Of course, groundwater is much higher than rivers and lakes. So first statement is wrong. The amount of water in polar ice caps and glaciers is more than. That is correct. ठीक है? Nearly 2.5% of the total water, or close to more than 90% of the total fresh water is actually held by polar ice caps and glaciers. Okay. Now let's come to the second main news, which is your economic survey tabled. Now we are going to go through all the findings of the report one by one, day after day. So the story is going to gradually unfold. But let's quickly go through the important parameters, which in a way give us a nice picture about the health of the economy of India. Okay, and Honorable Prime Minister of India said that this particular economic survey, it shows how India can be called, or the Indian economy can be called as reform express. Reform express matlab, express means something super fast, like a super fast train. And because of the structural reforms taken over a period of say 5 to 7 years, starting from the GST tax structuring, restructuring, everything. So India is actually able to beat the global expectations because of the geopolitical tensions and other supply chain disruption. Despite that, India performed really well. Okay, India is one of the fastest growing major economies. So let's quickly go through which are the facts which validate this belief. Global uncertainty के चलते हुए भी we performed really well. And despite the US tariffs, India's domestic market is so strong that it can serve as a shock absorber. कुछ भी हो जाए, इंडिया का domestic market बहुत ही strong है, which is evident from this particular fact. Okay, which is evident from this particular fact, which पहले तो क्या domestic demand strongest. As per the report, nearly 62% of the GDP is because of private consumption. 62% of the GDP because of private consumption. So as I said, कि इंडिया का प्राइवेट कंजम्पशन इतना ज़्यादा है कि यू डोंट नीड टू rely that much upon the world trade, because India's domestic consumption is very high. As you can see from the fact, this figure, 62% of the GDP was accounted for by private consumption. Okay, but before that, let's quickly go through the GDP growth rate estimates, how India is going to fare this year. That means because the fiscal year is going to end on 31st March 2026, which is called FY26, fiscal year 2026. Okay, If you remember, in the last economic survey, it was predicted that India is going to grow at this rate, 6.3 से 6.8% के बीच में ग्रोथ होगा. बट अभी जो हो रहा है, एज पर दिस पर्टिकुलर इकोनॉमिक सर्वे, it is 7.4%. And this is the growth in which we are using nominal GDP or real GDP? Real GDP. Real GDP पे हमारा 7.4% growth rate होगा. Nominal में higher than that because there is some amount of inflation, close to 8%. Okay, but see, there has been a revision in the growth rate. Last time it was 6.3% to 6.8%. This time it is 7.4%. Okay, अगले साल हम कैसे करेंगे? Which is no doubt a far cry, but still it's a good attempt to imagine how India is going to grow. 6.8 to 7.2%. हो सकता है इससे ज़्यादा भी हो. This is about from how we're going to fare after 31st March 2026. That means April 1st 2027 से लेके 31st March 2028 तक. Okay, sorry, 2026 से 27 तक. Services sector drives supply side expansion. The maximum growth rate was witnessed in service sector. Service sector कितना होता है? Close to 10%. Not agriculture, not manufacturing, which has been a historical phenomenon. Investment activity steady at 30% of GDP. There is a technical term we use for investment, which is gross capital formation. Okay, which is called gross capital formation. That means how much we are going to invest in capital formation. Machineries ho gaya, because capital has a multiplier effect. Okay, instead of if you give some amount of money to an individual and invest the same amount in building or installing a machinery, the machine will have a multiplier effect. It can produce more. Okay, तो वो जितने भी total investments हो गए उसको हम करते हैं GCF के अंडर, which shows the total capital formation in the whole of the economy, and that was close to 30% of the GDP, which is again very impressive. Fiscal deficit के मामले में हम लोग थोड़ा सा पीछे हैं. This is states 3.2%. Okay, which is not a good sign because ultimately the total fiscal deficit जो होता है सेंटर का वो था 4.5%. हमने रिवाइज कर दिया था, slightly tweaking what was suggested by the encasing committee and form the basis of the FRBM Act. Okay, again it's not a good practice. What is fiscal deficit? You know that FD is equal to total expenses. Okay, sorry, total revenue. अगर FD total revenue minus total expenses minus total debt. So we take into consideration only non-debt creating capital. Okay, another way to put it would be ये minus अगर हटा non-debt creating capital. Okay, total revenue minus total expenses, further minus inside bracket total debt. Okay, because we don't want to consider debt. Debt को हटा के देखना चाहते हैं how much India needs to borrow. Okay, government debt ratio reduced by 7.1 percentage points. Okay, इतने से reduction हुआ है. Just like this is a percentage point, ये 7.4%, this is 7.1%. Remittance, India, again there was a minor fall in the amount of remittance that India received a couple of years ago, but in 2024-25 again India sprang back. India received nearly $135 billion. Okay, much more than China and Mexico. And forex reserves reached $701 billion, which is what India uses to buy imports. Okay, हमको डॉलर चाहिए, and forex में क्या क्या होता है? गोल्ड भी होता है apart from dollars and other currencies. Okay, but dollar actually dominates. तो $701 billion. We are nowhere close to China and Japan. China का 3.2 trillion है, इंडिया के पास $1 trillion चाहिए. ठीक है, but India के पास 701 है, one of the highest. India is among the top 5 countries in terms of forex reserve. Okay, that's it. Gradually more stories will unfold, and you can also go through the Vision IAS discussion on Economic Survey 2025-26. Okay, to understand the health of the economy, first and foremost, growth rate, GDP growth rate. Now there is another news related to economics, which is about the suggestion has been taken into consideration, and we are going to put it in practice also, which is about revision of the base year of CPI calculation in India. ठीक है. CPI होता क्या है? कंज्यूमर प्राइस इंडेक्स, which reflects what all items are consumed by an average Indian. Okay, so this is actually, and what are the prices of that particular item basket. हम लोग एक आम आदमी क्या क्या खरीदता है, जो जो खरीदता है उसके प्राइस लेवल क्या है, एंड हाउ द प्राइस लेवल चेंजेस year on year. Okay, there is another concept called WPI, that is actually price level at the production level. This is price level at the consumption level. Now because Indian consumer is using diverse types of products, and because we are living in a different era, digital age, different types of services, new types of services are now in vogue as compared to what was in vogue say 10 years or 12 years. So we need to do a lot of revision. Indian consumer is consuming different types of goods, new types of goods, and also now because of this rising middle class, हम खाने पे तो खर्चा ही करते थे, फूड एंड बेवरेजेस, बट नाउ वी आर ऑल्सो परचेजिंग रियल एस्टेट, हाउसिंग सेक्टर. इसके कारण हमारा जो बास्केट होगा, कंजम्पशन बास्केट, उसमें फूड का थोड़ा कम हो जाएगा, हाउसिंग का बढ़ जाएगा. सो ये सारे जो रिक्वायरमेंट्स हैं, दैट फोर्स अस टू चेंज द मेट्रिक्स. So now we have changed the base year from 2012 to 2024. Okay, and there are different types of CPIs. Please remember, different types of CPIs. Okay, 5 से 6 टाइप हैं. This we are talking about CPI combined. ये जो CPI है, CPI combined है, which forms the basis of the monetary policy or inflation targeting of the RBI. Okay, we are talking about CPI combined. That means rural plus urban. The base years for other types of CPIs have been changed. किसी का 2019 है, we'll go through. But here we are talking about CPI combined. Okay. क्या क्या salient key points of the expert committee's report? CPI measures changes in retail prices of a basket of goods and services. Unlike WPI, which changes price changes at the production level. And while calculating WPI, we don't take into consideration services. CPI के केस में services आता है, ठीक है. WPI में no services. Okay. UPSC had asked a question on this particular fact. It reflects household consumption patterns over time. क्या क्या कंज्यूम करते हैं हम लोग. Compiled monthly by MOSPI, Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation, precisely by NSO. Okay, National Statistical Office, for rural, urban, and combined sectors. Different types of CPIs, as I said in the beginning. This is what is important from the prelims point of view. हो सकता है UPSC में ask a question about the changes in the metrics, just like it had asked 4 or 5 years ago about the GDP calculation changes. What we used to follow earlier and what we have been using since 2015. Similarly, a question can be asked about the changes that we have incorporated in calculating CPI. Okay, but mostly it is important from the point of view of prelims. CPI rural combined, ये कौन रिलीज करता है? NSO. ये जो CPI for industrial workers, CPI for rural workers, these are released by your Labor Bureau, Ministry of Labor Ministry release करता है, and accordingly DA or dearness allowance is set. Okay, or their wages are set. These are different metrics. Okay, CPI, IW, RW, released and used by Labor Bureau. We are focusing here on CPI combined, which is released by NSO on a monthly basis. Okay, CPI combined है आपका 2012 जो था इसका base year, we are revising it to 2024. That's it. Uses क्या है? RBI for monetary policy, as I said in the beginning. Wage indexation, ये कौन सा वाला? CPI, IW, industrial worker, and dearness allowance. ठीक है? These two are used by your Labor Ministry. This one is used by RBI for inflation targeting. Key methodological change क्या क्या हुआ है? Maybe a question in the mains can be asked. First is base year updation. The number of items, as I said, we are modern consumers. Okay, and our consumption pattern has changed since 2012. तो अभी old series में there were close to 300 items. Now it's 360, 358, 308 goods and 50 more services. We are also using digital services. That time it was not in vogue. Online markets हो गए, previously not included. Now it covers 12 major online markets in cities with those cities in which the population is above 25 lakhs. Okay, weightage of food and beverages. Earlier the weight was 45%. It's not that people are consuming less food, it's just that the share of housing sector has increased. ठीक है, क्योंकि हम टोटल से कैलकुलेट करते हैं, हाउसिंग सेक्टर रिवाइज्ड वेट तो उसका बढ़ जाएगा, अकॉर्डिंगली दैट ऑफ फूड विल फॉल टू 36% बिकॉज द नेट परसेंट रिमेन्स द सेम 100%. प्रीलिम्स में कौन से सवाल आए थे? द वेटेज ऑफ फूड इन कंज्यूमर प्राइस इंडेक्स इज हायर देन दैट इन होलसेल प्राइस इंडेक्स. ठीक है, ऑफ कोर्स इट्स ट्रू. WPI does not capture changes in the prices of services which CPI does. Again correct. Reserve Bank of India has now adopted WPI as its key. No, it's CPI. So 1 and 2 answer is A. Now fourth important news, which is coking coal notified as critical and strategic mineral. Okay, so again, so this is as per which act? This new inclusion of coking coal as a strategic mineral as per MMDR Act, which is always in the news. UPSC ने बहुत बार सवाल भी पूछा है related to MMDR Act. This is originally 1957 but amended several times. Okay, why coking coal has been designated as a strategic mineral? Because it affects our forex, and because India imports a lot of cooking grade coal, we cannot rely upon volatile market. The global market is very volatile. What if one of our trade partners say no to supplying cooking coal? Because we want to be Atmanirbhar in this regard. We want to boost our domestic production, and India has a huge reserve of coking coal, although it's not very high grade, but still the reserve is very high, and we have to make the most of our reserves, which is close to some billions, and currently our requirement is in millions per year. Reserve बहुत ज़्यादा है, and this designation to coking coal is actually going to come with a number of advantages. For example, पहले coal clearing के लिए mines के लिए जो approval चाहिए होता था, okay, clearances from the Ministry of Environment, everything is going to be easy now because of this status. Okay, and that is ultimately going to boost production of coking coal in India. Coking coal होता क्या है? This coal is not used to create thermal energy. We don't burn this coal. This coal is called metallurgical coal, which is used as a caking agent in manufacturing steel. ये steel manufacturing में use होता है, ठीक है? And this coal is called, coking coal is called metallurgical coal. Okay, not thermal coal. This coal contains more carbon and less ash or sulfur as compared to normal coal, which is called thermal coal. उसको हम बोलते हैं thermal coal, जिससे हम थर्मल एनर्जी बनाते हैं, जला के स्टीम बना के फिर टरबाइन रोटेट करते हैं. ओके, कोकिंग ग्रेड कोल इंडिया में बहुत कम प्रोडक्शन होता है. मोस्ट ऑफ इट 95% ऑफ इट इज इंपोर्टेड फ्रॉम कंट्रीज लाइक ऑस्ट्रेलिया. ओके, अभी हो गया. लेट्स क्विकली गो थ्रू. Added to Part D of the first schedule under the MMDR Act because of this new designation, recognizes coking coal's importance for mineral security and steel sector needs. India imports about 95%, as I said in the beginning, and mostly from Australia. Move expected to speed up approvals and improve ease of business. Will boost exploration mining. कुछ नहीं, ठीक है. Essential for blast furnace steel production. Blast furnace ही होता है ना जहाँ पे हम steel बनाते हैं. And blast furnaces never stop. They're always in work. Okay. Used in cement, chemical and petrochemical sectors. But most of the coking coal is used in steel sector. India holds 37.37 billion tons of reserves. Billion tons of reserves India के पास. But we don't have good technology. We are not well equipped to make the most of this reserve. हमारे पास reserve होते हुए भी we rely upon imports. Key issues क्या हैं? Low quality old mines, land hurdles. ठीक है, क्लियरेंस मिलना दिक्कत होता है, एंड ऑल्सो प्रॉपर प्रोस्पेक्टिंग हैज नॉट बीन डन. सो देयर इज ऑल्सो गैप बिटवीन द जियोलॉजिकल असेसमेंट ऑफ द कोल रिजर्व्स इन इंडिया. इनिशिएटिव्स क्या? मिशन कोकिंग कोल 100% FDI. So mining now, private foreign players can come and get engaged in mining without there is like no licensing requirement. Revenue sharing auctions. Revenue sharing auctions ये होता है, the government has just, this is how the bidding take place. For example, there are many players who want to mine coal. Now you have to, and government says कि minimum government को चाहिए 4%. Bidding starts from 4%. इससे कौन देगा? कोई बोलेगा 4.5% मैं दूंगा, कोई बोलेगा 6% मैं दूंगा, जो हाईएस्ट बिडर विल गेट the license to mine it. Okay, so earlier it used to be based upon amount कि इतना करोड़ रुपए मैं आपको दूंगा. Now it is about revenue sharing percentage. Okay, so that is also promoting coal production and mineral production in India. ठीक है, so these are the important points. And this is again forward market linkage or fast mile connectivity, FMC. Sorry, I forgot this point. Fast mile connectivity, that means coal mine से प्रोसेसिंग और मार्केट तक का जो लिंकेज होता है, दैट इज बेसिकली रिलेटेड टू रेल एंड रोड इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर, मोस्टली रेल. कोल ट्रांसपोर्ट जो होता है इन गुड्स ट्रेन्स, ओके, फ्रेट ट्रेन्स. MMDR एक्ट के थोड़ा ब्रीफली देख लेते हैं बिकॉज क्वेश्चंस हैव बीन आस्क्ड फ्रॉम दिस पर्टिकुलर एक्ट. अलाउज सेंटर टू रेगुलेट माइनिंग एंड मिनरल डेवलपमेंट्स. A question on DMF, District Mineral Fund, was also asked. What is the job of the DMF? Okay, and which was also very much in the news during the COVID times because this fund makes sure the mining areas, the people living in the mining areas, they're not harmed or affected because of the mining activities. Ultimately, for their health and education, money from this particular fund is used. But the sad fact is that the money was lying idle. That means despite having sufficient money in the funds, despite having sufficient funds, they were unused or underused. Okay. It creates enmity to support ये mineral exploration वाला जो body है, to support exploration and curb illegal mining. 2023 reforms removed 6 minerals from the atomic list. It's just another fact. For example, 6 minerals were like lithium, beryllium, okay, zirconium. They were removed, okay, because if a particular mineral is an atomic mineral, then the licensing procedure is very complex. If you delist it, it becomes very easy. And now we are also trying to boost our domestic EV sector. And for that, lithium is a crucial mineral. And if it's considered to be an atomic mineral, there will be procedural delays. That is why it was delisted. Now, center empowered to exclusively auction critical minerals. New exploration license introduced for deep sea. The most important facts are the first three. That's it. Okay. District Mineral Fund Foundations. Sorry, DMF, not funds. District Mineral Foundations. इसका primary purpose क्या है? Promotion of mineral exploration? No, that was of the other body. ये वाले body का. NMET. Second, protecting the interests of the persons affected by mining operations is correct. Authorizing state governments to issue? No, not this one. Only two. Okay. 2019 there was another question related to minor and major mineral. You can just pause the video. We cannot discuss all the questions. Of course, sand is a minor mineral. Okay. Last main news, which is related to entrepreneurial state. So you must have come across this term called welfare state. So how can India become an entrepreneurial state? Different concepts. That is more of a political concept. This is actually related to economy. That means India is already an entrepreneurial state. But that means we have taken several steps to be called an entrepreneurial state. For example, Startup India scheme. So, and this particular concept was introduced in the Indian context in Economic Survey 2025-26. That means India needs to create a risk-averse, strong innovation system so that new companies can make progress. That is what an entrepreneurial state wants to achieve. To create a strong innovation system. The country should not be risk averse. I mean, the government should not be risk averse. And if required, it should actually lead from the front. Only if the government leads, the private players will follow. We cannot put the entire onus or burden on the private players. Okay, you innovate, you do everything. We'll create ecosystem for our own growth in R&D and also that of the private player. Because cutting edge technologies require a lot of money and proper planning so that it can be used by industries ultimately. That is what we call an academia or industry linkage. Academic institutions, they conduct experiments, and on the basis of the experiments, successful experiments, industries acquire those new technologies for mass production. लेकिन ये अगर हमेशा private player ही करेगा, they will feel discouraged. Why? Because again, money is involved. But if the government creates an ecosystem or is directly involved, then it will become very easy for the private players to follow. So that is what the aim of an entrepreneurial state should be. And if we want to conduct bolder experiments, that means you have to be very courageous. You should not be risk averse. Okay, risk averse nahi hona hai. Okay, that is the ultimate aim. A question may be asked. So far, we have not seen any question related to, because this is a new concept, novel concept in the context of India, and it was proposed by one of the Italian American economists. We'll go through a name. East Asian economies को नजर में रखते हुए, we can learn a lot from countries like Japan, South Korea, Taiwan, okay, which are leading when it comes to new cutting edge technologies, okay, and we can draw a leaf from them. So this concept was popularized by Mariana Mazzucato, an Italian American scientist. If a question is asked, you can add this particular point in your introduction, okay. कि इसको किसने कॉइन किया था? दिस टर्म वाज कॉइन्ड बाय एन इटालियन अमेरिकन साइंटिस्ट हु गोज बाय द नेम ऑफ मरियाना माजुकातो. एंड इंडिया कैन लर्न अ लॉट फ्रॉम और यूज द ग्लोबल बेस्ट प्रैक्टिसेस फ्रॉम कंट्रीज फ्रॉम ईस्ट एशिया. ठीक है, रिक्वायरमेंट्स क्या? द गवर्नमेंट शुड कैटलाइज इनोवेशन एंड प्राइवेट एंटरप्राइजेस, focus on risk sharing and tech driven governance, existing state capacity constrained by slow processes, bureaucratic red taping, which we always mention as a point in our mains answer. It creates a lot of huddle. That means bureaucrats need to be indoctrinated as regards, they need to adopt this entrepreneurial spirit. If the processes are slow, the private players are not going to enjoy. वही license. In other words, ease of doing business. ठीक है? That means we know the things associated with this particular concept. We just didn't know the name. इसको बोलते हैं entrepreneurial spirit या फिर state. We are not aware of this term. Otherwise, all the features or the salient features of the state we did know. Okay, ease of doing business is another word for this particular concept. Existing state capacity बढ़ाना चाहिए, calls for regulatory simplification. That means bureaucrats should not just seek compliance with rules. They should facilitate it. एक particular company को रोक नहीं सकते कि you didn't follow the rules. Okay, sometimes we should not be absolutely lax, but we can be considerate. Okay, highlight success of UPI, Aadhaar, DPI systems because India is working on improving its digital infrastructure. ठीक है, तो ये तो it's a good sign. That means we're heading in the right direction. What more can be done? Encourages investment in frontier technologies, need for agile, responsive government systems. Okay. And some international best practices you can cite: Japan, Germany, US, and currently UAE and Israel. You can see Dubai, the UAE government, their king or the prince is attracting investments and novel minds from different countries. Why? To boost innovation in their own country. This is a question, not a previous question. You can think about it. The economic survey argues that India must transition towards an entrepreneurial state to unlock its next phase of economic growth. Discuss the concept, its relevance for India, and the key reforms required. You can pause the video, take note of the question. Okay, try to think properly. We have discussed it, and write it in 150 to 200 words. Let's quickly go through the quick updates. Meghalaya's living root bridges submitted for UNESCO status. That means if it's approved, then it will become an intangible cultural heritage. Okay, we have already 40 plus items. So, sorry, not World Heritage Sites. We have close to 10 plus items, starting from Kalbalia, another UNESCO intangible cultural heritage. Okay, so UNESCO listing, and this is where natural engineering is used by men. So the tribes like Jaintia and Khasi of Meghalaya, when the trees are young, they try to tie the roots, and the roots keep growing. It's like interweaving, and they become very strong roots. And you'll be surprised to know that a question based on this theme was asked, I think 7 to 8 years ago, 2015 or 16. Okay, so what are the facts need to be remembered? Meghalaya, living root, and the type of species, that is rubber fig. Okay, rubber fig roots. कौन से trees हैं ये हैं, and their roots are called living roots because they keep growing. This was the question asked in 2015. Yes. Okay. Who knows? This time the question may be asked about the tribes involved or the species of the tree name. Okay. Another important quick update: desert bacteria reaching Himalayas via dust storms. No particular question is going to be asked. Dust particles can be very conducive for the movement of bacteria. Bacteria are very small, much smaller than dust particles, and they can cling to dust particles just like they can cling to PM10 and PM2.5. It was recent in the news that air pollution can also facilitate the movement of dangerous bacteria. So antimicrobial resistance और बढ़ता है. So another related news, but this is about how Himalayan ecosystem is being affected by foreign bacteria. Okay, ये bacteria travel करते हैं थार और वेस्ट एशिया से आते हैं और हिमालय और हिल रीजन्स में जाके they destroy or alter the ecosystem. New dark matter map unveiled. We know that the universe is composed of three important components. What are they? The visible matter. Visible matter means star, planets, everything on the planets. We are part of visible matter, जो दिखता है. Second is dark energy. The biggest component is dark energy, and third is dark matter, the theme of the news. So these dark things were not known to human beings or early astronomers. Only after conducting gravity experiments and trying to understand the state of the universe, whether it's expanding or collapsing, mathematically we got to know that only visible material cannot define the universe. Otherwise the maths, the numbers that we arrived at would have been different. Okay, that means there are hidden materials that are behind the progressive expansion of the universe, and also because of which galaxies have been clustered together. The factor behind the expansion of universe is dark energy. Dark energy, which is 68% of the total universe. And the factor behind holding the galaxies is dark matter, 27%. It also plays a key role in gravitational lensing. It can bend light. The remaining 5% is visible matter. जो स्टार वार सब दिखता है ये 5% है, बाकी सब ये है. So now they have created more precise maps. Okay, using new technologies. इसमें क्या दिखता है? For example, this is a space. कहाँ पे dark matter, although they're dark, I am showing using this yellow pen. और कहाँ पे बहुत ही scattered है, कहाँ पे concentrated है. ठीक है? So this shows how dark matter exists in the universe. Okay, it helps test cosmology and evolution models, gravitational lensing effects, because there is something behind the bending of a light ray and we don't know what is that. It can be a black hole or it can be dark matter. Red aurora lights up Ladakh. Hanle Dark Sky Reserve में red aurora होता क्या है? These are aurora which happen or take place at very high altitudes, close to 200-300 kilometers. Okay, and you will be surprised to know that very small amount of oxygen can contribute to the formation of this beautiful natural phenomenon. Okay, oxygen क्या करता है? Excite होके it started to emit radiation in the red wavelength range. हम पढ़ते हैं ना visible light कौन सा था? 400 nanometers से 700 nanometers. तो 600 से 650 nanometer के range में, after acquiring heat from the sun, the oxygen atoms, very few oxygen atoms are present at a height above 250 to 300 kilometers, and they get excited and start radiating energy in this wavelength. That is why they appear red. ठीक है? क्योंकि blue light जो होता है उसका कम होता है wavelength, red का high होता है, which is close to 700 maximum है, beyond which we have infrared, but red aurora जो होता है उसका 600 to 650 होता है, caused by solar particles interaction at high altitudes. That is how the oxygen atoms get excited, because of the solar particles interaction with the sun rays. Indicates strong geomagnetic activity, highlights importance of Hanle for astronomy. Question आ सकता है Hanle कहाँ पे है? It's in Ladakh. Bomb cyclone in New York, bombogenesis, which is a typical phenomenon in the North American region. Nor'easters आप पढ़े ही होंगे. When two air masses come in contact, this happens. One cold and one hot. There is a oceanic current. Again, this is related to ocean atmospheric circulation. गल्फ स्ट्रीम जो होता है, इट्स अ वार्म करंट, इट जनरेट्स लॉट ऑफ मॉइस्चर, एंड वहां से आता है, गल्फ स्ट्रीम नीचे से जाता है, सॉरी, अगर हम लैटिट्यूड देखें, गल्फ स्ट्रीम नीचे से जाता है और वहां से आता है आर्कटिक एयर मास. Gulf Stream is very warm, it generates a lot of moisture, and moisture when it comes into contact with this cold air masses, immediate एक लो प्रेशर रीजन क्रिएट होता है, ठीक है. और आपको पता है कोरियोलिस फोर्स के कारण एंटी साइक्लोनिक एंटी क्लॉकवाइज मूवमेंट होता है, एंड एक साइक्लोन टाइप का फॉर्म होता है, बहुत रैपिड. ये डिफरेंस प्रेशर बहुत होता है, जो प्रेशर बार्स बहुत ज़्यादा होता है, बिकॉज ऑफ इट्स वेरी रैपिड. There is a sudden drop in pressure, and which results in, because of this particular season, winter season, which is the prevailing season in the entire northern hemisphere, वहाँ पे होता क्या है, blizzards होते हैं, snowstorms. Okay, and this is related to the interaction of two air masses, one warm and one cold. It's called bombogenesis also. Okay. High blizzard risk due to intensified wind fields. और उससे related, you know how blizzards can affect infrastructure, power disruptions and everything. Global nuclear capacity could exceed tripling target by 2050. That means the entire globe is planning to use this cleaner form of energy. And now we are trying to build or create capacity. So whatever target was set for the globe, we have already surpassed it. It was close to, I think, 1200 gigawatts, and now the capacity is close. The target was 1200 gigawatts, but we have reached 1446. Okay, so 246 ज़्यादा हो गया जितना हमने टारगेट किया था. Why was this possible? We didn't just rely upon big nuclear reactors. We also created small modular reactors, which is SMR. इस पे यूपीएससी ने भी एक सवाल पूछा था, ठीक है. These are like standalone nuclear reactors, easy to move, unlike the traditional nuclear reactor जिसके लिए बहुत ज़्यादा इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर की ज़रूरत है. ओके, बिल्डिंग मटेरियल बहुत ज़्यादा ज़रूरत है. सो इसके मदद से भी हमने अपने न्यूक्लियर कैपेसिटी ऑफ द वर्ल्ड, नॉट जस्ट ऑफ इंडिया, दिस इज टू मच. यू कैन सी 1446 गीगावाट ऑफ इक्विवेलेंट इलेक्ट्रिसिटी. स्मॉल ई स्टैंड्स फॉर इलेक्ट्रिसिटी, ठीक है. दैट मीन्स वी आर डूइंग वेल because we have surpassed the target set. The last quick update is about Kalbelia community. They have this practice of burying their dead, but they want land. They don't have sufficient land, and that's why there was a protest. And because this is a communal, this is a practice, traditional practice of this particular community, Kalbelia tribe, which are a group of traditional snake charmers, and their dance is also called Kalbelia or Kalbelia dance, and which was enlisted as a UNESCO intangible heritage. तो अभी यूनेस्को नेशनल ह्यूमन राइट्स कमीशन ने क्या किया, आई एम सॉरी, यूनेस्को इज डिफरेंट, वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट NHRC, नेशनल ह्यूमन राइट्स कमीशन, which is a statutory body and which has the power to take sumo to cognizance. That means you don't need to lodge any complaint. Automatically, if there is a social issue, it can intervene. So by virtue of that power, it intervened to add weight to the demands of the Kalbelia community. Okay, they want separate ground for burial. Question कहाँ से आ सकता है? Kalbelia, third is a tribe. Dance has been enlisted as a UNESCO intangible cultural heritage. And about NHRC, it's a statutory body formed in 1993. Act NH, उसी act के protection of human rights. And who is the head of this chairperson of this NHRC? He has to be a retired Chief Justice of the Supreme Court or senior judge of the Supreme Court, retired senior judge. Okay, this much is enough. I think we have covered all the news items. Oh, sorry, there are a few more news items. Let's quickly go through. New sanctions on Iran's IRGC, Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps. This is like a paramilitary force of Iran, and you know what is happening in Iran and between Iran and the US, or Iran and the West. So this is like a paramilitary force, just like our central CRPF in India. This is not the main army. Whenever there are protests, the personnel are sent to different parts of the country to suppress the protests. And because the West is not happy with what is happening in Iran, that is why they have EU in particular has designated this IRGC as a terror outfit. And sanctions have been imposed on the personnel associated with this terror outfit. इनके जहाँ पे दुनिया में assets हैं, whoever is a part of this IRGC, their assets will freeze. They cannot travel to other countries. So these are the repercussions of being a part of IRGC. Okay. So this is what is IRGC, Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, a branch of Iranian National Army, just like a paramilitary force in India, CRPF. Paymana reviews major projects. यहाँ पे the focus is on Paymana, which is a digital portal which monitors the infrastructure related projects of the central government, or only those infrastructure related projects which are worth more than 150 crore. Okay, छोटे मोटे projects नहीं, बड़े बड़े projects, इसका 150 crore, which is operationalized by the Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation. As per this particular digital portal, there are close to 1400 ongoing infrastructure projects across 17 ministries. Okay. Question आ सकता है पैमाना किसके साथ related है? It's a portal, some project assessment and implementation related monitoring. So it is operationalized by MOSPI. So that's all about today's news today. Now you can make the most of Visionize digital current affairs to enrich your knowledge. And now 6 questions will flash on your screen. Do take them. Wish you all the very best.